I want to share with you ladies the 5 common mistakes I see women make at the range, because I think of myself as your cool aunt, your big sis. I'm here to tell you the info so that when you go to the range, you know what to do and you hopefully don't make these common mistakes. If you're brand new here, my name is Stav and this is my channel, She Equips Herself. And my channel aims to equip you ladies with the knowledge and confidence you need to be a responsible and competent gun owner, gun carrier, all that. So today I'm going to give you these 5 mistakes. I know that there are more, but these are just the 5 that I think are really prevalent. And I've seen them all happen several times over my years of teaching, taking women one-on-one to the range, being in classes and all that. But before we start, I just want to say thank you to everybody who has purchased my new Stav Sling Pack that I created in partnership with Chameleon Bags. It is my favorite way to carry and I wanted to share it with you guys. So we made this bag together for you and I've gotten some great feedback from people who have purchased it. So thank you. If you're interested in this bag, I'll link it below. So mistake number 1 that I have committed myself and have seen happen several times at the range is not wearing the right clothes. And I don't mean you wore a dress to the range. I don't care if you wear a dress to the range. I've worn a dress to the range. I don't mean a certain type of clothing necessarily or a certain outfit. I mean wearing a shirt where the neckline is too loose or comes down too low. If you like to wear a deep V, that's your prerogative. That's none of my business.
What is that gentleman there wearing?
That's the double deep V from our Out of Bounds collection. It's pretty advanced stuff.
However, there's a time and place for that maybe, and the range is probably not it. And not just because of the look of it, but because, and you might not know this if you've never been to the range, if you're shooting a semi-automatic, whether it's a pistol or a rifle, the casing is going to come out of your gun and could potentially end up going down your shirt. And let me tell you from experience, because this can even happen with a high neckline, from experience, it is super uncomfortable because they're hot and they burn you. And I remember like when I first started really going to the range a lot by myself, I got a picture of a 22 casing that had gone inside my shirt and burned me, and you could see like the perfect outline of the casing. It had stuck in there for a while and it burned me pretty good. It is not comfortable to get burned by a casing. And another thing is that if you're like brand new and you've never had that happen before, I've seen people like panic and they point their gun in an unsafe direction or they drop their gun or whatever. Just be safe and wear a high neckline. And if you can wear a hat, that's a bonus because sometimes they'll bounce off your hat and not hit you in the face. So just be aware of your casings. They do come out of the semi-automatics and they gotta go somewhere. If you're in a bay, sometimes they'll bounce off the wall and come down your shirt. So wearing a high neckline is always a good idea at the range just because you don't want to get burned. I remember I was in a class once and we were shooting like in the prone position off the ground, and at the same time, it was like simultaneous. One guy in my class got a casing down his shirt and he screamed like a little girl. It was so funny. But at the same time, I got a casing down my shirt and I muffled my scream because I have had that happen before. So maybe that was his first time experiencing that. But it was so funny how loud he screamed. But just be aware of that. It's always a good idea to be prepared for something like that to happen, especially if you've never had it happen before and you don't know what it feels like. And just because you're wearing a high neckline, that's not guaranteed to stop a casing from going down your shirt. The way that you're positioned sometimes will leave a gap and it could still go down your shirt. But let's just lessen the chances of that happening, okay? All right, mistake number 2. I see this happen so many times with new shooters. Pretty much every time, I'd say. It's like 95% of new shooters I've taken to the range or I've seen new shooters at the range. They have an instinct, and I get it, when they're shooting to lean backwards. And I even might have done that when I was a new shooter. I don't really remember. But the instinct to push away from the gun and lean backwards is so strong that I see it happen all the time. The thing is, if you do that, you're not gonna have great control over the recoil of your firearm and it could push you back even more. I always advise women when I'm teaching one-on-one or I'm in a class and I see a woman who might need a little bit of advice on her stance, push your butt out, like stick your butt out. I know it sounds weird, but honestly that's the best way to get good control of the recoil of your firearm, whether it's a shotgun, a rifle, or a pistol. Like, don't lean backwards because the recoil is gonna push you further backwards and you're gonna have less control and you're gonna be moving a lot more. Okay, mistake number 3 is not using a gun that actually fits you correctly. And this can happen for several reasons. Maybe you bought a gun like me. The first gun I bought didn't fit me correctly. Maybe you bought a gun because you thought it was the right gun for you. You didn't really know what to look for to figure out whether it was a good fit or not, and you just bought it, and now you go and you shoot it, and it's not the right fit. This is something I teach inside the Armed and Confident Academy, my online course. I teach you how to fit a gun to your hands and like what to look for when you go to pick out a gun. But if a gun's not gonna fit you right, it's not gonna be comfortable to shoot, and you're not gonna be super good with it because it's just not built for your hands. I have really small hands. I say this all the time. I have small hands. My husband has gigantic hands. Guns fit us differently. We've been shooting revolvers more frequently lately, and I love revolvers, but a lot of them honestly just don't fit my hand. I can't reach the trigger properly. If you want to learn how to fit a gun to your hand, check out the Armed and Confident Academy. That's one of the things I cover to make you a more comfortable and competent gun owner. But it's really important to have a gun that fits you, especially if you're going to be in a class or something. It's just really uncomfortable to have a gun that doesn't fit your hands correctly because you're not gonna do as well as if you had a gun that does fit your hands properly. The first gun I got, I loved the look of it. I got it because it was kind of marketed towards the concealed carry world. It was a Ruger LC9S, if anybody's curious. It has like these curved edges, so I was like, oh, it's small, I can conceal that well. But the truth is, I had to mess with my grip, and it was an improper grip to get it to fit my hand correctly. So it wasn't the right fit for me. Another reason this might happen is because someone else picked out a gun for you and they're like, you should shoot this. And they just think that that's like a one size fits all for everybody, but especially for women, especially for people with smaller hands, everything's gonna fit everybody differently. So take people's advice with a grain of salt, do your own research, try things with your own two hands to see what actually fits you. The fourth mistake I've seen at the range made by women is caring about what other people think. This is more of like an emotional thing, but especially when it comes to taking gun classes at the range, honestly, it's like going to the weight room at the gym. I see so many parallels between like going to the gym and lifting weights and going to the range and shooting guns, because they're both pretty much male-dominated spaces. So there's a lot that goes on inside a woman's head in that type of environment. That's just the way it is. So if you go to a gun class and you're the only woman there, or you go to a range and there's a bunch of dudes there and you're the only woman, it can be easy to think that they're all looking at what you're doing. And I don't know, men, leave me a comment down below. Is that true? If you notice there's one woman at the range, are you like hyper-focused on what she's doing? I feel like as women, that's our perception. Like, because I'm the only woman here, they're gonna be waiting for me to make a mistake, or they're gonna look for something to correct. I don't know, maybe that's a false perception, but I think that a lot of women would agree that that's what's going through our heads when we're in a gun class or at the gun range with a bunch of men. However, whether that's true or not, if you feel that way, it can really stop you from accelerating your training, going to the next level. Like when I was taking concealed carry shooting classes, like live fire classes that Mac, my wonderful husband, was teaching, there were a lot of women in like concealed carry 2 and maybe 3, but as you get to like 4, 5, 6, there weren't as many women. And I think a lot of that is just like a lack of confidence and maybe nerves. And I get it, but if you're gonna get better and you're gonna improve your own skills, you need to stop thinking about what everyone else is doing. Stop thinking about what everyone else is thinking. If someone wants to offer you like helpful advice, if you're being unsafe or something, be grateful for that. And don't be too critical of people who are trying to help you. But just try not to focus on what everyone else is thinking and doing, and just focus on what you're doing. You have a goal to get better at your trigger control. You have a goal to get better at shooting faster. All of these goals you have to make you better at being capable to defend yourself are really important, and you shouldn't let anybody else's opinion affect that. And that goes the same for the gym. I know a lot of ladies out there might not feel comfortable going to the gym because they think people are going to judge them, but I just don't believe in letting other people's opinions stop you from achieving your goals. So just stay focused on yourself and what you're doing.
Don't let the haters stop you from doing your thing.
That's what I did when I first started taking gun classes, and honestly, just that mindset shift is huge when it comes to getting better at shooting. Okay, the last mistake I want to share with you is a poor grip. If you watch TV shows or movies with guns in them, chances are you're going to see a lot of really bad grips. And I'm not saying there's only one way to grip a gun. Like, I have the way that I grip my gun that makes me feel comfortable and gives me control. There are definitely a few different ways to grip a gun properly, especially depending on the gun. But there are wrong ways to do it. And having an improper grip can either injure you. You could get slide bite if you put your thumb over the back of the slide. I've seen that happen more than once, and it's really painful when that does happen to people. It could injure you. It could give you less control over your gun and the recoil that your gun is producing, and that can be really uncomfortable. And if you don't have a proper grip and it's messing with your control, your gun might be uncomfortable all of a sudden, then you don't want to shoot anymore. So having a proper grip is key in being able to shoot well and to be comfortable with your gun. And I don't know if I have a dedicated video to grip on my YouTube channel. I think I might have one on, no, I do have one on my YouTube channel, but I also teach it in my Armed and Confident Academy. And don't always take someone's advice on what proper grip is, because someone's proper grip for them might not work for your hands. Like, everything is so user specific when it comes to guns. Like, you think you can just take a gun and put it in anybody's hand and they can do the same thing with it, but it's not true. We're all built differently and our hands work differently, but it might take some finagling. But a proper grip on your gun is going to change the way you shoot, change the way your gun feels, and change your enjoyment of shooting altogether. If you need help with like, what do I work on at the range, like what do I do when I get there, how do I have a plan, I do have a range drills workbook that has, I think it's 17 drills in it that you can practice at the range. It tells you exactly what you need. You can take all the drills with you. That's super helpful. And my husband also taught our online course, the Practical Handgun Academy, that's available for you guys, and teaches you like how to become a better self-defense shooter when it comes to live fire. So I'm gonna link my courses and my workbook and all that stuff down below, because I think it's really helpful to know what to do at the range and like how to do things properly. Now let me know if you guys want to see a video on mistakes I've seen men make at the range. That one could be a little spicy coming from a lady, I think, but let me know in the comments below if you'd like to see that, because I think that could be a lot of fun, and I already have some ideas whirling around in my head of what I would include in that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know if I missed anything, if there are any mistakes you've made as women that you want to share so that we can learn from each other. And please subscribe if you enjoy my content. I just hit 200,000 subscribers. I think maybe I'll do a giveaway soon to celebrate that. But thank you all for subscribing to my channel. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you in the next video. Stay safe. Bye.